All right, guys, you know I hate talking about equipment, but today we are going to glue some rackets. I've boosted a couple of rackets, so ching! Now a retired Olympic table tennis player who played in Grand Slams, who's played the likes of Timo Boll, Ovcharov, Samsonov, taken sets off world number ones. He's going to show you how a racket is glued properly, how he would prepare for a competition. Keynote, pro tip, well, not pro tip, keynote, I am retired, so I don't play anymore. I do a lot of coaching. I recently started my own business teaching club level table tennis players how to really excel their level and how to really understand at a local club level how to fix the problems that they're facing. The reason why I chose specifically to help these people is because they're the most passionate, they're the most keen, they're the most willing to change. So, and also they're in the most pain of not reaching the level that they want to reach. But without further ado, we're going to show you how to glue these. So this is one of the remaining rackets. I was sponsored by Butterfly for most of my career. They were tight asses. So I'm saying this on YouTube, but they were tight asses. They would give us, and rightfully so, as a business, they already have, Timo Boll, now they have Ovcharov. They've already got Fan Jindong, they had Zhang Jika, they had Harimoto. They had so many players that were in the top 100 in the world that, frankly, someone who's ranked 70, 60 in the world, 80 in the world, they don't care about them, right? So they'll give them 20 pairs of rubbers a year. For a professional who's on the circuit every week, every month, that's not enough rubbers. That's not enough for someone who's training, anywhere between 5 to 10 sessions a week, hits the ball super hard, plays at a high level. So I got sponsored by DHS, started using Hurricane during COVID, and asked DHS for a sponsorship, and right timing, I was ranked 70 in the world, 60 in the world, and they said yes. So they gave me 10 blades a year, and they gave me 100 black rubbers and 90 red rubbers. Until I called it quits, I retired, and then they stopped sponsoring me, which is fair enough. So anyway, so when Double Happiness sponsored me, they let me choose the thickness, the weight of my blade, the thickness of my rubbers, the hardness. Everything was very, very special. So you see here, even if we look at the blade here, I guess if I show you in reverse, you might be able to see, it says, it's got it in reverse, Hemming Who. So, this blade was one of the 10 that I had per year. I was sponsored for about a year and a half until I decided to retire. So, yeah, this is a very special blade for me. I've given a lot of them away, except for this last one. That now, I took a break from table tennis for 2 years. I sold personal training, and now I don't miss playing, but I noticed that it's where I have the most impact on the world. So I'm back. I'm taking on clients one-on-one for a limited time, but more importantly, I'm trying to build the school community up to impact hopefully millions in the world. So it's an active group of nearly 300 members. We've got lots of regular committers who post their results, their match results, ask for feedback, they help each other, and everyone has similar problems. So that's what's so special about the group. You get exclusive coaching and content from me. So this is content that I don't post elsewhere in Instagram, YouTube, and it really fixes the common problems that club level players face and why these are problems that other coaches don't fix. Because pro players typically struggle. I mean, Alex Hormozy, who is a business mentor that I listen to, he says, people who have become very wealthy, they forgot a lot of the lessons that got them from zero broke to 10K a month, for example. Then they go teach what works when they're already doing like 50K months, 100K months. And that stuff is not applicable to someone who's starting out in business. So it's a similar thing in table tennis, right? Pros, and I was in this position, I lost a lot of clients from 2013 to 2017. I really did coach a lot of people, and instead of being able to teach them one at a time and really figure out, like for this guy, learning to serve well was an issue. And they're like, well, you're trying to teach me all these different things. I'm not even ready for it. So yeah, in my thoughts on equipment, it needs to be of a certain quality, right? That's it. It needs to be of a certain quality. If I was to give them absolute, I have a couple of clients who are absolute beginners. Not my target market, but they pay me well. So I will coach them. And when I coach them, I get them on this sort of shit straight away. I get them on fast rubbers. I get them on Hurricane. Why? It's like saying when someone drives, Why drive a bicycle, right? Just drive a car from the very start. So similar thing here. Just use good rubbers from the very start and learn how to use it. There's no need to start with basic shit rubbers and then work your way up. It doesn't work that, because think about this, right? Back those rubbers like Shriver EL, Eclipse, these rubbers that were only good enough with speed glue. If you play them without speed glue, they're so bad. They're so slow. They're so energyless. A lot of coaches, even some good level coaches, think beginners should have that. It's like, no, because how you hit a ball with that is like you need to actually go like that. But I don't want my players doing that shit. I want my players to topspin properly, right? Really topspin properly. Learn to actually use a racket that's of high quality and learn to control it. So, I mean, if I was to give a racket to my younger self, I would have just started with Hurricane. You see, my opinion on it is that with butterfly rubbers, with a lot of these fast ESN rubbers, they're good rubbers, sure. But you think about these things as a business. Now, everything is business. The world is business, right? I'm sorry to tell you guys who are naive, but they're out there to make you money. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not criticizing them at all. If I was Butterfly, the owner of Butterfly, I would try and make as much money as humanly possible. Why the hell wouldn't I? I would do the same if I was Jeweler, if I was any of these other brands. So if you think about it from their perspective, who are the people that buy rubbers from them? It's not the pros, it's club level players. It's people who are 25, 35, 45, 55, 65 years of age. They finish work and they go through, they're like, I want to finish work and relax. I love table tennis. It's my life outside of work. And I want to have fun hitting with a rubber that makes me feel, I want to hit winners and feel great. Whether they realize it or not, that's why they're playing. I play tennis to feel good. I play tennis because it makes me feel like I'm competitive in another sport. And the feeling of hitting a one-handed backhand, it feels unbelievable. The feeling of hitting a touch volley, dropping short, the feeling of hitting an ace serve, a winning forehand, a killer drop shot. These things make me feel like a champion. They make me feel incredible. So this is why these rubbers like Tenergy are so... Club level players love it so much because it feels good, right? Hurricane is not a rubber. Even when you boost it, it's unplayable boost unboosted. But you boost Hurricane 3 times. It's the most functional, but it's certainly not the most fun rubber to play with. So to give you guys awareness, they'll get guys like Ovcharov, Timo Boll with Jangjika, Fanjindong with, and these guys are using Hurricane, right? But you'll get guys that are really of high value in table tennis and high status, and they'll pay them millions of dollars to promote it. Now, naturally, a lot of people think, well, if it's good enough for Timo Boll, it's good enough for me. But the reality of it is at a pro level, using a Hurricane on the forehand, sure, arguably on the backhand as well, but definitely on the forehand, has a lot of advantages. When the score's really tight and you need to play that short push, that serve, keep the serve short, when you need to be able to really grip onto the ball on a counter spin or on a spin up, it's going to be 50 million times easier with Hurricane. That's just a fact of life. And these guys know it. The Ovcharovs, the Bolls, they know it. They know that the Chinese have an advantage because they've got this sticky Hurricane rubber. When they return serve like that, it's loaded. When they loop the ball and it kicks at them and it drops, there's a huge advantage on that. And it just spins the ball better. So, long story short, I would start my whole career with Hurricane on the forehand. And I would personally stay with Tenergy 05 in the backhand if that was what I was going to compete with. But look, today, beggars can't be choosers. It's not a priority what rubbers I use. They just need to be good enough. So a good friend of mine from AGMC, if you're in Melbourne, Australia, definitely go to them. He's not a tight ass. He's really going to look after you. He gave me this rubber called Jeweler Ryzen CMD. More than good enough. I've boosted it one time. So I've already boosted these rubbers that you see here. I've already boosted it with this bad boy here. Now what you want to do is brush it. So this booster, for me, all boosters are the same. There's literally no difference in them. It's just baby oil mixed with a few other ingredients. Right, I brushed a huge layer, so you'll see that there's a massive dome on this Hurricane. But even though I put a good layer here, there's still no dome. So, no problem. I'm not going to put any more on the ESN rubber just because it's already so fast and so soft. If I do it again, it's just going to be mushy. But I will do it again on the Hurricane. I've done it 2 times. I'm thinking of maybe doing a 3rd layer. But just for the purpose of today's video, we're not going to do that. We're just going to glue it on and deal with the fact that I've only got 2 layers here, not 3. So I did play the last 2 years of my career, year and a half, 2 years of my career with Hurricane. And yeah, I mean, I was using 2.2 mil. I asked for 2.2 millimeter. I asked for thicker. And I still got away with it. I still played Tokyo Olympics. I still play many events. And didn't test positive, and I was boosting 3 times. 3 big layers as well, like huge. So I'll demo. This is the kind of layer, because I've got old rubbers here that today I just decided to take off. I'm like, even for coaching, I don't want to use this shit. So let's show you how big. If I was to boost a new rubber, this is how big my layers would be. Now, if we look at this, brush, it's this huge ass brush, right? And the reason why I don't like this booster, well, it's given to me for free by my lovely brother. So I'm not gonna say no, because I still need it for coaching and teaching players around the world. I need something good enough. When coaches have rackets that are absolutely trash, it's like, come on, man, have some sort of standard. So we're gonna, fuck, it's leaking. We're gonna boost this old rubber here, which we might not ever use again, but it is a blue sponge special Hurricane 3 that was made special for me, so we might keep it, so I don't get them anymore. But I would put a big layer, right? And just like a brush, like painting, I would make sure it's evenly spread around the whole rubber. Now this is a thick ass layer, so to give it some life, I'm going to share some of it on the 10xO5 as well. And just over the next couple of days, let's see what it does. Let's see if it gives it back some life. Now, back when I was a player, when I was getting almost 100 pairs, 90 plus pairs a year, I would change every single week. Why the fuck not, right? But nowadays, I can use a dead ass rubber. I'm not competing. Speaking of, anyone in USA who's close to Miami, it's basically almost 100% confirmed. I'm going to be flying over to Miami. It's more of a question of, is it going to be 2 weeks or 3 weeks, right? Because they're like, whoa, we're paying for Hemming to come over, we're paying his flights, accommodation, food, and all that. He's going to do some coaching at our club and really like promote it. Great, but the flight from Australia to my USA is expensive as. So we might want to do 3 weeks with him just to make sure it's worth the time and money. So I will be coming to USA. I will be coming to the USA from July 6th all the way to July 21 minimum. So yeah, guys, if you're in Florida, if you're in Miami or nearby and you're going to be there at those training camps, come and say hello. Obviously, I'm happy to do some one-on-one coaching. You guys may as well make the best of my time, make the most of my time while I'm there, and really learn as much as possible. I'll be more than happy to help out and coach any of you who want it. So yeah, that's the go. That's how I would boost my racket. Except on a Hurricane, I would do it 3 times. I would choose a rather hard thickness because I'm a strong guy, you know. I'm not gonna lie about that. I'm probably one of the, if you look at my recent videos, I did a photo shoot last year to see how lean and jacked I could get. I wanted to do a photo shoot to look like Green Arrow, and I looked like this. So I'm obviously a lot bigger than I was as a table tennis player, because when I stopped, I pretty much immersed myself into gym life and got pretty big, got much bigger than I was as a ping pong player. But I'm not abnormally huge. But with that being said, I do think I'm the biggest table tennis player there is. Like, I'm definitely bigger than most tennis players too. Now I'm a club level tennis player. I don't think I'm as big as Rafa. I'm definitely not as big as Rafa Nadal, but look at like Alcaraz, all these other tennis players. I'm definitely size-wise bigger than them. Am I as lean as them? No. But anyway, let's stay on the topic of rubbers. So we're now going to put, I've run out of sponges. They're actually at my parents' house, and my mum's got the flu, so I'm not going to go visit them. But I've cut off, beggars can't be choosers again, so I've cut off this sponges from dishwashing sponge. I have seen great players use it. I've seen Joel Kay use it. I've seen Georgie Hull use it. I've seen Fan Jendong use it when I lived with him. So it's good enough for them. It's good enough for me. And if it's good enough for us, it's good enough for you guys. Is it the best sponge? No, but it's going to do. So I'm drinking this protein shake. I nearly sprayed that on. That would have been funny as eh? So I put DHS glue. So guys, don't use this butterfly shit, honestly. Don't use butterfly. Don't use Exium. I don't care what brand it is, right? I'm not trying to discriminate against brands, but don't use any of those glues that are super thin, because then it becomes a pain in the ass and a son of a bitch to try and rub off. Use Nataku Fine Zip or DHS. In my experience, these have been the best 2 glues, and this is what you see the Chinese national team using. They're either using DHS or they're using Nataku Fine Zip. They're just thicker, and they also feel better and they play better. So we've put too much on the blade. So we're gonna spread some on the rubber. But guys, I'm gonna show you how to glue the blade. Now, some of you guys would glue the blade, both sides of the blade at the same time, and then just hang it on there. I would prefer not to do that, honestly. I'm going to show you. Today, I honestly would. I'd just glue both sides and then roll it on because I don't give a shit. As long as the racket's good enough, I can coach players. I do coach some players that are pretty good. So I just need the racket to be good enough. So I'm not going to be as obsessive and as like calculated as when I was playing Grand Slams and I like really felt like winning was lose or death. I really felt like winning and losing was life or death. But here we're gonna leave it here. I'm gonna show you guys how I would do it. So we've glued the blade. I'm gonna put it elsewhere. You won't see it in the camera, but it is there. What else are we gonna do? We're gonna glue my backhand rubber first. So this is my backhand rubber. This Jeweler Ryzen or whatever rubber it is. I don't even know actually. It's gonna be soft. It's not typically my favorite choice, but who cares? I'm not competing anymore. But I actually am competing in a comp in Florida. Apparently there's $2,500 for the winner. There's Gustavo Gomez, who I played in a World Championships once. I don't think I'm going to win it just because I haven't competed for that long. But if I jump out and play a comp today, I'm still going to be all right. I'm still going to beat players that I typically should beat. It's when someone's close enough to my level, I could really lose. And under pressure, I just may not have the same, I just may not have the same ability to make balls on when my body's tight and I really want to win. So that's certainly, even though I handle pressure well, and I'm typically today a very competitive tennis player, these things do tend to go off. I've noticed that when I went to Ohio last year to work for Samson Dubina Tennis Club and played a competition. I was playing Chance Friend and I was up like 1-0-9-3 and I was just making some poor mistakes, very easy mistakes when it was close. So I certainly noticed that when someone was could potentially beat me, was close enough to my level, that these things can happen. When you don't play comp for a long time, you certainly do go off. But players that I should clearly beat, I was still beating, right? I was still getting through the group pretty easy. So we've glued that rubber. I may as well, I typically put 2 layers on. So just for the purpose of time, I'm going to hair dry it, but I'm not going to show you that process. So I'll put my first layer on the Hurricane, which you see this is typically quite tricky. And I used to glue these rubbers naked because I don't want to get I don't want to get the glue on my, I don't want to get the glue on my clothes. Especially, or I just wear clothes that I don't really care about. Today, I'm playing it a bit risky. I do care about these clothes and I do care about these grey pants I'm wearing. I'm not going to get it on my hat. But I am going to be very careful because I don't want to get this shit on my Enterprise Fitness clothes. What else? So we're gonna hair dry these, which I won't show you, but I'm basically just gonna carry these rubbers like this, hair dry it till there's no more mush, till there's no more. You see here, I haven't really done it evenly, but as a player, I was obsessed with doing it evenly, so I'm gonna show you here. I'm gonna try and make sure there's no lumps. I was even obsessed with getting the bottom part here correct, even though it doesn't matter because where I'm gonna hit the ball is around this area. Right? If you're hitting the ball here, you've got no control anyway, so it's like it's not gonna matter. We haven't glued both sides of the blade, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to hair dry it, put another, even for today, I'm not going to put a second layer. I really can't be bothered. I've got coaching early tomorrow and I'm tired. Like here in Melbourne, it's really cold. I've got a shitty sore throat. So I put on one thick layer. That's the other advantage with these this is a random bottle, but I've put DHS glue in it. These really thick glues, you can get away with putting one layer. You put one layer of free chack or you put one layer of like Andrew glue on this, man. It's going to be so bad. Even with 2 layers, it's like still so thin. So with these thick layers, another advantage, if you ever can't be bothered, you just want to put the rubber on, you're just like, I'm tired, you can do it and it's still going to be okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to dry actually I'm going to put the forehand on here. It's just a thing I'm superstitious about. So I'm going to put the forehand rubber on here. And we are going to hair dry this, the Hurricane, and then I'll be back here to show you exactly how I roll it. Now, there's quite an art to rolling it, right? When you roll it, you want to make sure you don't stretch it. Now, I know some Swedish guys like Robert Svensson, like Matthias Oversjö, like some really good level players. They do stretch the rubber a little bit and they think it's good. My preference is not to stretch it at all. The moment I've stretched it, I feel like the rubber, the pimples of the rubber just stretch and it doesn't quite grip the ball the same. And I've always been a player of good spin and good consistency rather than a brash hard hitter. So that's been my style, and that's what I like. That's what I feel comfortable in. So to be on the safer side, I would recommend you guys don't stretch it, but let me show you guys exactly how to make that happen. Now, the rolling pin that I'm going to use is the rolling pin is a deodorant can. Now you may think, what a rookie, what a fucking rookie this guy. Doesn't even have a proper rolling pin. Now those rolling pins that are sold, I think they're absolute trash. Every time I use them, I get bumps on the rubber for some reason. But with a rolling pin, cheap one that cleans your underpits, I'm just gonna roll the rubber on and you'll see how good this thing actually is right in this next video. All right, we are done hair drying both the first side of the blade and this Hurricane. Well, a couple of things I would do different if I was still a professional player and I was still life or death about every win. I would not hair dry it, I would just wait. I would just wait until the white glue dies, which typically takes about anywhere between 20 minutes to 45 minutes. Now, it can take 45 minutes because I put my layers thick and I don't use those thin glue shit. So, with a Hurricane, what you want to do is take the little thing off here because you're not going to be able to roll it on properly with this thing on. So make sure you put the blade, make sure you let's chuck this away just for now. If you've got a dusty table, take it off because you don't want dust on your rubber, especially on a new rubber, which you guys will probably pay good money for, right? They're not cheap, these things, especially with how often you need to replace the rubbers. Now, blades are not as important as rubbers. It's kind of like tennis players who, the frame is important, but strings are way more important, right? It's the same as badminton. So ping pong, the rubbers are way more important. Here you'll see the edge of the table. See that? If I now put it on here, I can break the handle or make it very unstable, right? So again, don't put it in a position like this. Put it in a position, see? If I slide it down, now it's even. Now the side of the blade is even with the table. That's what I want, right? Now, here's the fun part, right? We're gonna make the edge here of the racket, the whole line there, it's gonna meet with this. We're first, listen up guys. Make sure that the face of the blade is flat. We're gonna first put the rubber on. Did I put it on perfect? No, but we're first gonna touch it on here. And then what I'm gonna do with this rolling pin, which is my deodorant can, I'm gonna make sure this side of the blade here is put down correctly, as flat as possible. And then I'm gonna slowly, I'm not gonna put any force into it first. I'm just gonna roll the rubber down. I'm just gonna put it, make sure it's like flat, like here, like it's on, right? Gotta be very careful here not to stretch it. The moment you stretch the rubber, you change the tension and the dynamic of it, which you do not want. Same thing, I'm gonna put it this way as well with no force. I'm just gonna put very teeny to make sure that it's on. Once it's on, I can't possibly stretch it, yeah? So it's on, diagonally, vertically, horizontally. Now, you may think it's done, but it's not, yeah? Because now, you look at like the bottom here, the rolling pin didn't successfully put that on. So what I would do, I would first cut it, yeah? So this is gonna be I've always been an awful cutter, but I've often turned up to international tournaments and the rule is that it can't be more than 2 millimeters over the overhang. And referees have often been like, too much overhang, muscat. So I'm going to show you guys as accurately as I can. I'm certainly not the best cutter, but I do like my own cutting. I don't want someone else to cut for me. In case if they screw it up, I couldn't live with myself. And making my own rubbers, I know how it's made. So I know what I've done to it, whether it's perfect, imperfect, good, shit. At least I know because I did it. So what I would do, I would squeeze the life there first to make sure I've put it on properly. Now, you may want to do it to the sides, you're asking. I do, but I want to first roll it again. I want to first... Now I can go hard because I'm not going to stretch the rubber, yeah? So if I was a professional player, what I would do different, I would be using a blue sponge and I'd be using national version rather than provincial. I got provincial at a deal because he gave it to me free. So whatever, right? It's not that much of a big difference, but it does if I'm still playing and every point matters. So I'm going to roll it here diagonally hard. Oh shit, diagonally hard. I'm going to go horizontally. I'm gonna go vertically again. Now remember, I've already pinched this part. Now what I want to do is pinch the sides too, right? Because when I rolled it, I didn't actually get the sides. As much as you may think you did, you didn't. Now this is why you guys have rubbers coming off and it's like, bleh, bleh. Whereas you want it to be like, boom. Yeah, so here we go. Now I have successfully put on the first side of my racket. Now, Hurricane is a sticky rubber. What you don't want to do, imagine you had a rubber here, right? What you don't want to do is leave this even for any more than 1 minute. Two rubbers, another rubber with Hurricane stuck together, it's going to fuck the sponge up. Right, take that from experience. I never knew that until I did it. And I'm like, oh shit, I'll never do that again. All right, so I'm going to put this little paper, I'm going to take it from the ESN rubber. I'm going to put it, all ESN rubbers are the same, whether it's Jeweler, they're all the same company that have just branched out so they can have more businesses. So this part is wet. We're just going to do one layer because I can't be bothered doing more. But again, we are going to grab this sponge here, which we are going to chuck out at the end of this. We're going to put one layer of glue on here. Once we just put a little bit, because I'm only putting the blade, and I've already got a wet sponge, so I won't need to put as much. When you've got a new sponge that's dry, you're going to have to put a bit more glue just to get it, have enough. Right, I've already got glue. Oh shit, I got it on my pants. I've got beautiful grey pants that I love. So again, when you're doing this, don't do it naked or don't wear clothes that you care about. Because done properly, there is definitely a risk of you getting glue on your clothes, which is not fun. Not fun at all. Because it's glue and it's very hard to get off, especially on clothes. If it's on your hands and your body, that's okay. It's easy to get it off. So we're going to take a quick break. Well, when I say a quick break, I'm just going to like go and hair dry both of these and then come back to you with another clip. Guys, we are back with the final part of this video on how to glue, or how a professional ex-Olympian, or Olympian, you're an Olympian for life, but ex-professional table tennis player who play Grand Slams glues a racket. So we're going to do the same thing with the black side, the backhand side, which is I've hair dried the blade and the rubber. I'm going to do exactly the same thing. So you guys know what to do. If you don't know what to do, rewatch what I just posted in the last couple of minutes. That will take you exactly how to glue a racket. So I'm going to do the exact same process. Oh, fuck. I'm going to take you through the exact same process. So I'm going to put it on as accurately as I can on the edge, on the front of the blade, making sure the blade is flat. There's no like handle hanging off. So the face of the blade should be flat with the table. I'm just going to put the rubber on first. Now, the mistake that you don't want to make is you don't want to put two square rubbers on at the same time. So you see here, I've got that. If you had two squares together and they're both squares, yeah, good luck cutting that, you know? That's the mistake I made once and I never made it again. Because then I was like, shit, man, how do I cut this? And I couldn't cut it without the rubber coming off. It was really, yeah, if you've done it before, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't done it before, you don't want to be in that position. So here I am, I'm going to roll the rubbers on horizontally, both sides, diagonally, both sides, and also vertically. Knowing that I still need to cut it, and I still need to pinch all of the edges to make sure that it doesn't come off. Even though I've rolled it every direction, I still haven't successfully made sure that all the sides and all the edges are taken care of. So we're going to cut it. It's not going to be perfect, but it doesn't matter. It's good enough. They're new rubbers. I haven't had new rubbers for 2 years. So yeah, basically, guys, I want to tell you about equipment, right? It just needs to be good enough. Once it's good enough of a certain quality, it's not going to be the thing that makes you better. If you really want to get better, if you're a club level who's like, man, I freaking, or, you know, for term of a more passion, I fucking stagnated for so many years. Well, jump into my group. And I will, for free, for a limited time, teach you, show you my exclusive content, work with you personally to figure out exactly where you're at. Guys are literally, you know, within the span of weeks, getting results that they couldn't for 15 years. Simply because if you keep trying to walk through a maze and walk the wrong way, you're just going to keep walking the wrong way until someone's like, dude, you're walking the wrong way. Try that way. And they're like, oh my God, it works. Well, yeah, because you kept walking the wrong way. And as someone who has coached club level players for in person, online for so many years, I had to learn again, like, oh, this is what needs to be done, and this is what works at that level, and this is what is relevant at that level. A lot of things that pros do they're so past the point of what club level players are that they've forgotten. A lot of these things for them is assumed knowledge, and that's why with pro level players, they don't know how to teach it, right? It's like you guys, my own community members have gone, oh my God, Fungbo's teaching is so complicated. It's like, yeah, because he's teaching you from the viewpoint of of a professional who already knows all this stuff. So it's like Lu Guoliang, who is probably the only guy, one of the only few people that are qualified to coach the Chinese national team. He'd be terrible coaching club level players because he's never coached one, right? And all the things that you guys are struggling with, for him, that's like long forgotten, right? And yeah, that's basically, I've dedicated the last 10 years to being good at that. And I made a comeback going, well, I miss the impact that I had on these people. So join my school community for free. It will be in the description below. So join there, you'll get access to my online course that I'm building. And obviously, as I'm building this course still, and as I'm making this into a paid product, you may as well cash in on it now, because here for free, you will be with other community members who are really trying to get better, obsessed with ping pong. And club level players all have the same issues. Oh, I struggle with balls that are high after my topspin serve. They don't know how to move around properly for a forehand. They don't understand that letting the ball drop and playing a super spinny ball is a free passage to winning points straight away. They don't understand that a lot of people serves are long and you can just loop them straight away. They don't understand that practicing back and middle, back and forehand and all these footwork exercises are completely useless. And they're not helping them start the point better. You think you have to get faster reflexes, because it's funny, because a business mentor of mine, Alex Ramosi, again, he says, you spend all your time selling shit because your offer sucks. And you spend all your time marketing you spend all your time trying to tweak your offer because your marketing sucks, right? And he said something like that. And I'm like, for table tennis, you guys think you need faster reflexes because your ability to control points and start the point by being in control of it sucks, right? You think you have to get faster because your ability to serve well and return well and follow up after the serve, follow up after the receive, that ability sucks, right? And because that ability sucks, you're not able to control points from the get-go. Higher level ping pong is not played like that. It's played by really being, from as early as possible, piling up pressure, serving and returning in ways where you're able to neutralize opponent's serves, or when you're the server, you know exactly when you serve backspin, you're going to get a push, right? And you can start being an advantage of a point straight away because you know what's coming and how to follow up, right? And these are the things that I teach you in my group. So if you're sick and tired of being frustrated, every day, whether you're actually 20 years old or whether you're 80 years old, you're not running out of time in terms of like you're going to die soon. But the more longer you spend as a psychology-wise, the longer you spend not knowing the answers, the more frustration you have. More importantly, there are some clients that are like, one is that if they're super obese. So I don't take on everyone for one-on-one coaching. If I take them on one-on-one coaching, I better have confidence that I 1,000,000% have confidence in my own teaching. By the way, the racket's ready. So if I just finish off with a message, I only take on one-on-one clients. I'm taking a few more on, but I only take him if I truly believe, yes, I'm going to take this guy or girl to higher results. And I can't do that if it's anti-spin. I can't do that if they're choppers or defenders and they're not trying to attack, because fundamentally these are the players that I'm trying to teach a lot of you guys how to beat. So the other people that I can't help is if someone's like way too obese that they can't even stand, right? Generally speaking, that has to be pushed really far. But more of the problem is if I had a guy once, and I never should have taken him on. He's a lovely guy who I still would go out for a beer with, but he had such poor technique and ideas. Technique is not everything, right? It's overrated. It's one of those things that are overrated. It just has to be done well enough. The next is you have to know how to start a point. But this guy had such bad ideas and he'd done it for so long, for like 20, 30 years, that I couldn't actually change him. These are the only kind of clients that I can't help. So before you guys become one of them, jump into my free group, start to understand like the secrets, right? The secrets that I was able to take away and realize as a pro player, playing against these guys like Samsonov. And if you don't believe me, go check out my channel. I've already put videos and points of me with these guys. And I started to learn, when I was at you guys level, I had good looking technique, but I couldn't, I was losing matches that I shouldn't be. I understood why. And now today I'm able to pass these lessons on to you guys. So for free, if you guys want it, jump onto my school link and Yeah, you guys will have personalized access to me and everyone else, online course, and all my exclusive content. And again, guys already are improving very fast and getting results that like beating people that they haven't been able to for the last 15 years, simply because they know I'm the guy that shows you how to get past the maze. I'm the guy that gives you the missing piece of the puzzle. You have to work, you have to be committed. But if you do that and you're not having some of the conditions that I outlined, I'm 1,000,000% confident I can help you improve your game and get it to the next level. That's really what you all want, right? And I get it. You're probably sick and tired of having all these coaches who can't help you. So without further ado, let me know how you guys found this video. It was definitely long, but I know equipment's a huge topic of yours. So guys, stop asking me what equipment I use, right? I'm using 2 black sides, right? That's how little I care now, but I'm using a DHS Marlong 5. I would use a 3 when I was still competing. It was a bit fast for me, this one. Especially the stronger I got physically, the more my equipment slowed down, because more power came from my own body, rather than when you see a lot of girls play, they use very fast equipment. Women are not as physically strong as us, as men, right? So that's just a fact of life, not me being sexist. So you'll see women are better at being intuitive and taking things off, but being more compact. So they were able to have the racket do more for them, right? The stronger I got physically, which is towards the end of my career for sure, as I took my gym a little bit more serious and I paid for premium personal training. Then I started to be able to hit more winners and started to be able to rely less on the racket speed. And that's when I also transitioned to Hurricane, which is definitely more, it's more of these, it's like a tight trampoline. If you really hit it hard with good spin, you'll get a good return on your investment. If you be soft, like return a serve, it's going to give you a soft return back. So it's perfect in that sense. It will give you good touch when you serve and receive, but it will also, if you hit it well with spin, it's going to double it for you. But who it doesn't suit is flat players. If you're a flat hitter or you've got compact strokes, you may as well jump on an ESN rubber or butterfly. Those are going to suit you much better. Stop asking me about equipment, guys. You can ask in this video, but don't ask me again on Instagram or even on school if you're one of my community members or on YouTube, just because I don't like these questions. It's like, I like that you guys see me as the expert, but it's like, because I know as long as your equipment quality is good enough, it ain't going to be the difference between whether you win or lose. So I get it. You're always looking for the next best thing. If you're looking for the next best thing, jump into my school community. Stop looking for the answers in your equipment. Look for the answers in what you're doing wrong. Because if the equipment is good enough, right? Like I will grab a shitty school racket and I can really lose to players that aren't as good as me. But if the racket's good enough, this is not my ideal racket, but I will still beat the players that I should beat, and I will still lose to the players that I should lose to with this racket. So, with that being said, find an equipment. Every blade, every rubber, as long as it's good enough quality, is gonna have its pros and cons. Live with it. Find with one that you like, that is good enough. It's like friends, right? There is no one best friend for you. You may have a friend in your group who you happen to get along with him or her the best, but if you were to move away from that person, you could go to another city and find a new friend, right? There are lots of friends who would be compatible with you, or girlfriend or boyfriend for that matter. There is no such thing as the one. Rackets are the same, right? Relationships are exactly like rackets, right? We grow up thinking there is the one for us. There is my wife and husband she's the one. That's actually not true, right? It's as an ex-dating coach, there are many men and women who, whatever you're into, there are many men and women who would be perfect, who would be a great candidate for you. There isn't just one. Same with rackets. There are many rackets that would be good combinations for you. Now, find one, focus on improving your skills, and that's how you're going to get good, right? Trying to find the one in the racket, you're wasting your time. All right, peace out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. The call of action for today, join my school community and let me know what you want to see more of in the comments down below.